Have you ever watched a bird soar through the air and wondered how it stays afloat? Or maybe you've been mesmerized by fish gracefully gliding through water. These amazing feats of nature might seem magical, but they can be explained by a fundamental principle of physics known as Newton's third law of motion. This law, simply put, states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. It's a fundamental concept that governs the motion of objects all around us, from the smallest particles to the largest celestial bodies. In this exploration, we're going to dive deep into Newton's third law and discover how it explains the fascinating movements of birds and fish. Get ready for an exciting journey into the world of physics. Before we take off on our exploration of birds and fish, let's take a moment to understand Newton's third law a bit better. This fundamental principle of physics is not just a dry concept from textbooks, it's a law that governs the very fabric of our daily lives. This law is all about interactions. It's the invisible thread that connects actions and reactions in the natural world. Imagine you're playing basketball. When you dribble the ball, you apply a downward force on it. This force is your action. What happens next? The ball doesn't just stay stuck to the ground, does it? No, it springs back up. Instead, it bounces back up towards your hand. This upward motion is the reaction. This bounce back is the reaction force from the floor acting on the ball. The floor pushes back with an equal force in the opposite direction. The key takeaway here is that forces always come in pairs. These pairs are inseparable and always present in every interaction. Whenever one object exerts a force on a second object, the second object simultaneously exerts an equal and opposite force back on the first object. This is true whether it's a bird landing on a branch or a fish pushing against water. These two forces are called action and reaction forces, and they always act on different objects. This principle is what allows birds to fly, fish to swim, and even us to walk. It's a beautiful dance of forces that keeps the world in motion. Now let's spread our wings and explore how Newton's third law plays a crucial role in bird flight. Birds have fascinated humans for centuries with their ability to soar through the sky effortlessly. But have you ever wondered about the science behind their flight? Let's dive deeper into the mechanics of how birds achieve this incredible feat. Birds have specially shaped wings called airfoils. These wings are designed to manipulate the air around them to create lift. The unique shape of the wing is crucial for flight. When a bird flaps its wings, it pushes air downwards. This action is not just a simple flap, it's a powerful and precise movement that requires significant muscle strength and coordination. This downward push on the air is the action force. The bird's wings act like paddles, pushing against the air to generate the necessary force for liftoff. Remember Newton's third law? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. This fundamental principle of physics is at the heart of bird flight. So, what's the reaction force in this case? When the bird pushes air downwards, the air pushes back with an equal force in the opposite direction. The air pushes back on the bird with an equal force in the opposite direction, which is upwards. This upward force is what allows the bird to lift off the ground and ascend into the sky. This upward force is what lifts the bird into the air and keeps it aloft. But lift alone isn't enough. Birds also need to maintain their altitude and navigate through the air. The shape of the bird's wings also helps to create lift. The wings are designed to optimize airflow and reduce drag, making flight more efficient. The curved upper surface of the wing forces the air to flow faster over it than under it. This difference in airflow is essential for generating lift. This difference in airspeed creates a difference in air pressure, with lower pressure on top of the wing and higher pressure below. This pressure differential is what gives the bird the lift it needs to stay airborne. This pressure difference generates an upward force called lift, which helps the bird to stay airborne. By continuously adjusting their wing shape and flapping rhythm, birds can control their flight path, speed, and altitude with remarkable precision. So next time you see a bird soaring high above, remember the incredible physics and biology working in harmony to keep it aloft. Now, let's dive into the water and explore the fascinating world beneath the surface. Here, we can observe how fish use Newton's third law of motion to navigate their aquatic homes with grace and efficiency. Fish use their fins and tails to push water backward, creating a force that propels them forward. This backward push on the water is known as the action force. Can you guess what the reaction force is? It's a fundamental concept in physics. That's right. The water pushes back on the fish with an equal force in the opposite direction, propelling the fish forward. This is the reaction force. This continuous action-reaction cycle allows the fish to swim through the water, with remarkable agility and speed. Different fish species have evolved different body shapes and fin structures that allow them to swim in various ways, each adapted to their unique environments. Some fish, like tuna, have streamlined bodies and powerful tails that enable them to swim at high speeds, making them efficient predators and long-distance travelers. Others, like seahorses, have more delicate fins that they use for precise movements and maneuvering in tight spaces, allowing them to navigate complex coral reefs and seagrass beds. Schools of fish often swim together in synchronized patterns, using their collective movement to confuse predators and improve their chances of survival. By understanding the physics of fish in motion, we gain a deeper appreciation for the incredible adaptations that allow these creatures to thrive in their underwater world. The next time you see a fish swimming, remember the intricate dance of forces at play, enabling them to move with such elegance and purpose. The underwater realm is a testament to the wonders of physics and the beauty of nature's design. Section 5. Beyond birds and fish, action-reaction pairs everywhere. Newton's third law isn't just limited to the animal kingdom. It's at play all around us, in countless everyday scenarios. Think about what happens when you jump up in the air. You push down on the ground with your legs. Action. And the ground pushes back up on you with an equal force. Reaction. Propelling you upwards. Or consider what happens when you fire a gun. The expanding gases from the burning gunpowder push the bullet out of the barrel. Action. And the bullet pushes back on the gun with an equal force. Reaction. Causing the gun to recoil. From the simple act of walking to the complex machinery of a rocket launch, Newton's third law is the invisible hand governing the motion of objects in our universe. Section 6. Newton's third law in your life. Think about the last time you jumped on a trampoline. As you landed on the trampoline's surface, you exerted a downward force on it. In return, the trampoline pushed back on you with an equal force in the opposite direction, propelling you back up into the air. This back-and-forth exchange of forces is a classic example of Newton's third law in action. Now imagine you're rowing a boat. As you pull back on the oars, you're pushing water backward. Action. Simultaneously, the water pushes back on the oars with an equal force in the opposite direction. Reaction, propelling the boat forward. These examples highlight how Newton's third law is constantly at work in our daily lives, even in seemingly simple activities. Section 7. Engineering marvels, from rockets to cars. Newton's third law is not just a scientific curiosity, it's a fundamental principle that engineers rely on to design and build incredible machines. Take rockets, for example. Rockets work by expelling hot gases out of their engines at high speeds. The force from the expulsion of these gases, action, creates an equal and opposite force that propels the rocket upwards, reaction. This principle of rocket propulsion is a direct application of Newton's third law. Similarly, cars rely on Newton's third law for their movement. When a car's engine turns the wheels, the tires grip the road and push backward on the ground. Action. In response, the ground pushes forward on the tires with an equal force. Reaction, causing the car to move forward. Section 8. Dive deeper. A question for you. Now, it's time for you to put on your thinking caps and test your understanding of Newton's third law. Here's a question for you. How do swimmers propel themselves through the water? Think about the actions and reactions involved in swimming. What forces are at play? Share your answers in the comments below. Section 9. Wrapping it up. Newton's third law in a nutshell. Today, we've journeyed through the fascinating world of Newton's third law of motion. We've learned that this fundamental law states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. We've seen how this law explains the flight of birds, the swimming of fish, and countless other phenomena in our daily lives. From the simple act of walking to the complex engineering of rockets, Newton's third law is the invisible hand governing the motion of objects in our universe. Section 10. Coming up next, more real-world physics. Stay tuned for our next exciting adventure, where we'll explore more real-world applications of physics. We'll delve into the fascinating world of energy, momentum, and maybe even some mind-bending concepts like relativity. Get ready for another thrilling ride through the wonders of science. Section 11. Share your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced Newton's third law in action? Share your personal experiences and observations in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting science explorations.